And we're live, just like that.
Good morning, Nudelberg Daily Huddle. Let's go.
Disco Friday.
I'm ready to roll.
This is a song from 1979.
I love it.
Woo-hoo-hoo. It's Friday, baby. Living it up, oh yeah. Good morning, cheers to you, sir.
Cheers.
Living it up, oh yeah. Living it up, oh yeah. This is so late 70s, 80s, man. It's great.
It's so appropriate for what I was watching last night.
So you are now streaming live on your Facebook, correct?
On my Facebook as well.
Nice. We got them coming from every angle, man. Boom.
That we do. Leanne's a regular these days. Leanne's everybody popping in with a hello and a good morning.
Staten Island, baby.
Good for you, Leanne. Good morning, Todd. Douglas, John, Sean, obviously always here. Todd, good morning. Awesome. Good to see you guys.
Ooh, yeah, baby. As they're rolling in, it's like I feel like the guy at the door, the red, in the old clubs. You're in, man. Let's go, baby.
It is the fun part of the day, welcoming everybody in.
So just come on, baby, live it up. C Squared in the house. That's my man. Carlos Castrasana is in the house, man. Way to see you, brother. Jennifer Starkey, welcome to the Huddle, the Daily Huddle. Good morning, Mark Nudelberg.
Good morning.
How you, son?
I'm fantastic. Started off with a great workout this morning. The inputs started early as usual. And good morning to Josh Folds in the house. Good to see you, and I appreciate you jumping in and saying good morning. Good morning, Jeremy Turris. This is, again, the feedback on a daily basis of the people that I'm meeting through LinkedIn that are, hey, I see you and your dad in the morning, and I appreciate what you guys are doing. And I know we're going to get to some shout outs, but it's just overwhelming the number of people that are joining us, the number of people that are coming in and saying good morning. Appreciate you guys, appreciate the group, and it keeps me going every day.
Leanne's great. She said, a smart man once told me, why wouldn't you want to be everywhere? That smart man is a Nudelberg. Thank you, dear. Thank you, Robin Harper. Welcome back. Oh, it's great to see everybody. All right, why don't you say we get rolling, man? Today we got fun stuff. Lori Salarillo's in the house. Can't wait till we get together. Today's big strategy day. I love sitting down with CEOs and mapping out the future and going through ideas. Josh Folds is actually on Recipe for Success. So everybody's doing great stuff. Okay. Have to start out this morning by wishing a huge happy birthday to Charlize Theron. Okay. So, there are those people in life that no matter what movie they're in, no matter what they do, you watch them. She is that for me. I think blonde, brunette, whatever she does, she's pretty incredible. She's been in some fantastic movies, and she's my hall pass.
So, do you have a favorite movie from her?
A favorite movie of hers. I do, but it's not coming to top of mind. I don't have that right in the brain.
For me, probably The Italian Job is probably my favorite. That was the one with Wahlberg.
Great movie. Oh, excellent.
Yeah, great flick.
That was early on.
Here's another throwback for you. Devil's Advocate.
Devil's Advocate.
For sure. She was the wife. She was Keanu Reeves' wife who goes nuts.
Really?
Yeah, 100%.
Easily easily go to the head of the class there, my boy. That's really good. All right, so happy birthday to her. Fantastic. Today, on this date, in let's see when this was, in 2007, Barry Bonds hit his 756th home run to eclipse Hank Aaron. So you tell me, is he yay or nay? Because he was so juiced full of shit, he probably didn't have any idea.
This is the way I look at it, is he still had to be a great hitter. Have you ever tried to hit a curveball? Have you ever tried to hit it?
As a matter of fact, I've shared that with people that I was actually a fairly decent baseball player as a kid. Catcher, was really involved in the game until they started throwing curveballs, and then it was like, what the F was that? Right?
So to me, to take away, like, same thing with A-Rod. Like, I get that there was performance enhancing, but it was the culture of the game, and he still had to hit the ball that many times and get it out of the park that many times. I don't take away from the skill that it requires to do that. So I applaud.
I agree. I happen to agree.
One of the best hitters of all time.
That was a sign of the times, but it's a shame that all of those guys are not included in any kind of, even we could even take this to the Pete Rose conversation. The guy still hit the ball, even though he did something stupid. Anyway, we move on. That's 2007. You know what? These are conversation starters that I'm starting to seeing it and feedback from you guys. You're taking this content and sharing it and having, yesterday, one of our friends, Jason Muntner, made a big presentation. He opened up his presentation. Well, today on this date, the internet was created, and it just totally, changed the whole, respect factor from who he was speaking to. Shout out this morning to Ross Capodanno, who took the initiative to reach out to his audience, and thank yours truly and Mark. What gets you motivated in the morning? I want to thank Steve and Mark Nudelberg for their message on the Nudelberg Daily Huddle. Thank you, brother, for shouting it out. And you shouted it out with video, man, even better. Any comments there, my friend?
Say that again?
Yeah, nothing, man. I said, you have a comment?
I thanked him yesterday. I reached out to him through LinkedIn. Shout out to me. You shouted him out. What do you want me to do? You want me to tag on the shout out? You got it.
Here's, what people ask us all the time. Why social media? Why do you guys do this? Why are you constantly posting whatever? Somebody comes into my world, Daniel Lowry wants to get in. I ask him a simple question. Hey, thanks for connecting. How do we know each other? Or how do you know about me? Hi, Steve. I always ask my interviewees to name a sales influencer, author, speaker that they follow. One of my new hires mentioned you. That was in Portland.
That's awesome. That's why. That's why.
You know what?
We're having this conversation with a lot of people, and social media is networking. So I don't understand how everybody has accepted going to the chamber event, going to all of the networking events that they can, but then they don't want to partake in social media, because all of the events that you go to have geographic restrictions. You're stuck. Only the people that can get there are going to be there. Whereas in social media, it opens up you meeting anybody from anywhere around the world that you could have a conversation about something you have in common, and who knows where that relationship goes. It doesn't make sense to me that people don't see it that way. But I want to make a point right here. Everybody's kind of lighting up about the Barry Bonds, what I said, like respectfully disagree. So post it. Like, that's what we talked about yesterday, is
exactly right.
Put your thought out there. That strikes a chord with people. Now you can have a conversation. It's awesome. I love it.
It's interesting. When you were coaching at Lafayette, I wanted to reach out, or I was supposed to reach out to the head of this pharmaceutical company who was up in Philly. And when I went to LinkedIn and searched him out, he actually went to Lehigh. So he was a graduate of Lehigh, which was the oldest rivalry in college football, is Lehigh Lafayette. So before we even got started, I reached out and I said to him, hey, listen, we don't know each other, but my son coaches at Lafayette, and I know you're from Lehigh. Are we going to have a problem? The guy cracked up, connected with me, and then we had this massive 30, 40-minute conversation about football, which cemented our relationship and opened the opportunity for us to potentially do business. So it was really fantastic. I do want to share this, and it wasn't planned, but in the book I write, one of the rules is networking is only one letter away from not working. And what that really was supposed to mean is that the idea that networking is a lifestyle, it's not an event. And so when people would go to an event, they would pack up their business cards, they get all dressed up, and they would go, I'm going to a networking event tonight, and it starts at 5, and I'll have 2 drinks, some shitty hors d'oeuvres, and then, at 7 o'clock, it's over. The networking is over. One of the greatest things about LinkedIn is it never shuts off. It's 24 hours. It's absolutely global. Mark and I were just talking. We are working with an entrepreneur based in Holland who found us. He was recently on Dragon's Den. I'm not sure anybody in the group knows what Dragon's Den is. Dragon's Den is the absolute start of what Shark Tank is here. He got on, 4 of the 5 people wanted to invest in his company. And what does he do? He takes plastic from the ocean, recycles it, and makes high-end furniture from it. So what a cool opportunity.
You can look up the episode on YouTube. It's a great episode. I enjoyed watching it, learn his story.
I will post it. But, it was funny because now that I've gotten to know the guy, he said, dude, I was scared shitless on that. And he's just a typical guy who in the real world, I would have never had the opportunity to meet. He would never have the opportunity to find out who he was. But he has already jumped into my world, to Mark's world. He's reached out to Jay Guattari, to Suzanne McDowell. He is plowing his way through opportunity in the U.S., and we're talking about being his U.S. agents. It's so much fun. It's so unbelievable. And it's only possible through the power of social media. So I get up every day, and I'm super grateful for that. So 12 minutes in, I think we did good with current events and shout outs. One last shout out, and this is the really cool part about social media as well. Shout out to Scott Garber, my nephew, who joined Denise Zach in her second podcast. Denise is a life coach. She started producing Mindset Monday, and Scott was her second guest. And Scott, you nailed it. You did very good, even though you thanked Mark and not me, but I'll live.
It's not a competition, right? So
that's it. 2 words, F-U.
I love it.
Or F. Anyway, so what I wanted to focus on today, because we like to have one meaty piece of content for you to think about over the weekend, and I use the weekend to send out and follow up with a lot of emails. And let me tell you something, I get some shitty emails. Mark, do you get shitty emails?
All the time. Not only do I get emails, now I get really shitty inbox messages on LinkedIn and everywhere else on social media, but LinkedIn in particular, and it's bad.
So, I ask people at scale, I go, hey, did you ever take a course on just email? No. Well, how'd you learn how to do it? I don't know. I just jumped in and started doing it. So nobody pays attention to the basics of email. I'm going to go through some of them today. Mark and I shared some stuff back and forth, but the idea stemmed from, I got an email, I won't name the lady, or maybe I should, a CEO who basically, and I don't know if you guys can see that, but that was the email that she sent to me. Found you on LIQQ. I don't even know what that means. What tools do you use to document?
I'll tell you what that means. It's another thing that we hate. Quick question.
Oh, see, even worse.
Well,
I don't even know her. So now she's jumping into my conversation with a quick question. Delete.
Doesn't know you. Quick question for you.
I looked her on LinkedIn. She's a third of mine. What tools do you use to document sales processes for training? Why don't I just land on the planet and ask you what kind of underwear you wear? I mean, it's ridiculous. And then in parentheses, curious if Scribe, which is, she's the CEO of Scribe, would be complimentary. Jennifer, not Jennifer last name, not Jennifer anything, CEO of Cursive, no signature block. So I was like, okay, I've had enough. We are going to go through the 15 things I think you need to understand about email, because email is a form of marketing. You do make an impression when you email somebody. I got tons of pet peeves about this. But the first one is you need to have a very clear and defined subject line, Mark.
There's one that's not in here that I think before that is critical is know your audience.
Know your audience. I wrote it down. I wrote it down this morning. Know your audience.
Who are you talking to first? Is it somebody that you deal with on a daily basis that you're going back and forth? Is it a new outreach? Is it somebody that's an acquaintance that you kind of know, but you're trying to push that relationship a little further? So I think before that is know the audience, and then the clear and direct subject line. I think too many people use that as a place to just summarize what's happening in the email. How about creating the reason to open the email in that subject line? Like yesterday, I fired out a couple articles to people, and the subject line was, I thought you would like this read. Awesome. Great. They know why they're opening the email. Then the link is in there for them.
Love it. Love it. So for me, the first thing is the subject matter line. I got tons of opportunity from just putting coffee with a question mark. You know, you're interested in coffee, you know, and then in the body, very, very short, sweet. Anybody who's writing 2 or 3 paragraphs in an email, you're wasting your time because nobody's reading it. Number 2, that's exactly right. So number 2 on my list is you need to have a professional email address. If you are using AOL or Hotmail or any of that stuff, you are instantly telling somebody, I'm a dork. I'm not caught up. You know, like seriously, I'm living in, you know, I still have a rotary phone. You know what I mean? So
before we offend everybody, before we offend a lot of people in the audience on that, there are some people who use Gmail as their company address.
Gmail's better than Hotmail or
AOL.
AOL.
If you're still rocking with AOL, that's tough.
AOL, man, come on, man. It's like, seriously, it's like, I can't even fathom going any further. You're a technology expert and you're using an AOL email. It's like,
I love it. I love it.
So okay. So we got, you know, let's break this down. Know your audience, who you're sending it to. Fantastic. Then really succinct, you know, subject matter, right? Use a good email address. Really, really important is have a signature block. A signature block. What does that mean? You can have your picture there. You can have all your information. You do not want people to have to be a detective on how to get to you. Use your LinkedIn link right there. Bam. You want to be able to find from the email, you want to be able to have that person jump on and do stuff.
And some companies mandate that you use their email block or whatever. The other thing I think is important is when you're using your mobile phone, the majority of people have smartphones. It's like 5.6 billion people or something ridiculous that have smartphones. You have an option in your smartphone to have a signature there. Make it similar to your email block that you're using from your computer, especially if you're using sent from my iPhone is not the signature I want to see on somebody's, you know, email. Put your name in. Put your name, your position, your, you know, how to reach your social links, whatever it is. You can customize that. And if you don't have a professional email block for your Outlook or your Gmail, whatever it is, it's never been easier to create one with Canva. So if you need help, ask for help.
Shay will help you for sure. I mean, right. Shay's sitting waiting for your call. So, so the next thing is, this is a gigantic pet peeve of mine. They have this thing called spell check. How can you misspell words in a computer? I mean, 100%. So you are telling me that you're the greatest salesperson, you're going to be able to follow up, you're a detail person, yet you send me an email that has misspelled stuff and you misused words in there all the time. You are sending signals. It is the first touch point sometimes with people, and it blows my mind.
The best story of that was the editor story that we shared the other day, who wanted to reach out to you about writing a second book and had a typo in their message. Like, bad look.
So here's the other thing. This idea of reply all. Okay, I don't need to see every bit of communication. You know, this email is generally meant one-to-one. If you send it out and you happen to do with a bunch of people, that doesn't mean you have to hit reply all to let everybody see your response. You should only respond to the person who sent it to you. Because for me, I'm
correct. 100%. Or cut it down. There are times that we're in a big group of emails and then I've got something specific for only a couple people in the organization. I'm just pulling them out of that chain and creating the side conversation off that same email chain, but with only the people that need to be included in that conversation.
So, I love that. So we're talking about some basic stuff here that people really don't pay attention to, but this one's really, really key. The one problem, or one of the biggest problems with email, is tone. I have no idea what you're really saying to me. So if you're putting it in capitals and you got exclamation points, you could be excited as hell. I think you're pissed off at me. We're going in different directions.
Yep.
So, you cannot, presume that someone's going to know what you're thinking. So back it down. I have a 24-hour rule. If I want to send you a message, and I shared one that I did to somebody I've been prospecting for a year, and they sent me this funky email back, and I waited a week before I sent it. I proofread it. I did all the things. I checked everything, rewrote it a couple of times, but then I sent it to Mark, and he goes, "What did you say?" I
said that was awesome. I mean, the tone of that was perfect. That was so clear and concise. It wasn't emotional, but it was very direct, and you got the point that I understand. I mean, it was awesome. So I think we should go, because this is the point that I want to use there, is if you're worried about the tone of the message, the easiest way to not be confused about it is to use video. So that, I'm going to share some stats today on social. I'm creating a post about it because Vidyard sent us an infographic about unbelievable stats and the way video is being used. If you're not using it, you need to at least start dipping your toe in the water to figure it out, because the world is moving to it. So you're going to get there at some point. Stay ahead of the curve and get on it now.
So, that's kind of a quick look at email. I think it's basic. It's fundamental. Email can be really powerful. To Mark's point, we have most of our clients using video now. Video is amazing. Video has the ability so that you know that someone got it and that they saw your face and all of that kind of stuff. So I thought it was important. I started to see this. Pay attention to every single thing you do, because every single thing you do makes an impression on somebody else. And then last but not least, email does not live in just one inbox. Email can be shared really, really quickly and easily. So understand that there's no privacy, there's no nothing. This is you. Once you put it out there, it's free game for people to share it with whoever you want. And so tread lightly, my friends. So that is today's lesson. I think it's pretty cool. If you want to have an offline conversation with me or Mark about email, please do. It's significant, but there's so many new ways to do stuff anyway. I just thought that we define what that looks like. Happy birthday, Charlize. Thank you all for joining us today. Takoa, you are new to the Huddle, I see. So welcome. Shout out to everybody. If you do not make a comment, we can't see you. So if you're lurking in the background, thank you just the same. And all is good. Mark, you want to take us home?
Happy Friday, TGIS. Do something to improve yourself 1% this weekend. Read a book, go for a walk, do something to get a little bit better. And we'll see you on Monday.
Living it up, baby. That song, listen to it all day.